Okay. What up, everybody? Back at it. Streets Never Sleep Radio. Your boy Jonny Empire, man. Right beside me, we got DOC. We got Joey Bats in the building.
Your best friend.
Your best friend. We got him in the building, man. So we got into 4 joints off Vandalize. And if you're tuning in, man, you know, why don't you shoot us a tweet? Why don't you shoot us a tweet at StreetsNVR Let us know what you think, man. Why don't you tweet? You can tweet Joey Bats too.
Yeah, rap Joey Bats. Hit me up.
If you heard it, man, let him know. Let him know what you
Johnny
think.
hated all the songs.
I wasn't a fan of any one of them, but still, let us know.
So tweet.
No. Don't. We're just kidding. My man, it's always love when Joey Bats comes through, man.
Single tear.
But so Doc, man, right before we came in here, man, we were saying that we wanted to talk about the Grammys and hip hop, and so why don't you give us a little recap of this year as far as hip hop goes? You know, who were some of the winners, and drop some knowledge, baby.
Well, I mean, not hip hop, but Sam Smith was the big guy.
Yeah, shout out to Sam Smith.
He was the boss that evening. Not only Song of the Year, but Record of the Year, back to back. As far as the hip hop, Kanye did his thing. He had Rihanna, Paul McCartney. That was a pretty dope performance, in my opinion. I did hear that Kendrick Lamar won an award, but it wasn't televised, and I don't think he was there.
This year, none of the hip hop awards were televised.
Yeah.
I peeped that.
Messed up. They need to do.
Yeah, he might have won 2, I think, for that track.
He won Best Hip Hop Live Performance.
Yeah, and I think Best Song.
And like Best Arrangement or something. It had a weird wording to it.
Yeah.
But I was glad that he got a couple under his belt.
Absolutely, definitely.
Grimy that it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't on TV.
Yeah, I mean,
they need to do like back in the early 90s when Public Enemy and them like protested because they didn't televise any hip hop. That's what I think that's what a lot of the bigger rappers, especially dudes like Snoop and Nas that never even got a Grammy but should have.
Yeah.
You knew that, right? Snoop or Nas never got a Grammy.
I didn't know that.
Barely even nominated, even for like their classic albums.
I believe it, man. And
Izzy, who beat Snoop? Google this real quick. Hit up Wikipedia. Who beat Snoop when Doggy Style dropped?
Oh, actually, Doggy Style, the hip hop wasn't in the Grammys yet.
Oh, word?
I looked into that because I was like, how did Doggy Style?
That's what I'm saying.
Or The Chronic not get one?
Like for real.
Yeah.
And Illmatic, like what?
Yeah.
What's going on
Illmatic
there?
never even got nominated.
How do they not get? They need to get. Do the Grammys do like honorary Grammys like the Oscars and the Academy Awards does? Because like no BS. Like Nas needs like a 20-year honorary Grammy.
Seriously.
I think so too. I mean, just the fact that his pen game inspired like a genre.
Yeah.
Like
masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. It is crazy.
Biggie and Pac too, even back in the day. They didn't like in '97 or '98, whatever.
Yeah.
Puffy's album got the Grammy.
Biggie
didn't even get the album that year. That was crazy to me. I was looking back even one year, it was 2004. Outkast got the Grammy. It was deserved, but at the same time, I felt like 50 should have got it for Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh, they went against each other? Which Outkast? Was that Stankonia?
No,
that was...
or was that the double?
Speaker Box.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Like, that was a huge year, don't get me wrong, but no one could tell me that 50 wasn't everywhere that year.
In 03.
And 03, but it was 04 that Outkast got
Right.
But like 50 didn't get it that year, and I felt like he should have.
It's the voters, man. They're just scared of the ghetto.
They are.
They're scared of the hood.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's the right comparison, but that's even like this year too with YG's My Crazy Life album. Yep. He was saying too, and a lot of hip hop critics are saying that YG's album My Crazy Life was one of the best albums of 2014. I don't know if you heard it.
I'm not familiar, but if you guys co-sign, I'll definitely check it out.
It's definitely dope if you're interested in some like new age, old school West Coast stuff. What YG's doing it, and he did a public rant meaning on Twitter saying f the Grammys because they didn't consider My Crazy Life as at best rap album. YG.
He's actually pretty good.
I think so too.
I was real surprised they gave it to Eminem.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Because that dropped in late 2013.
Yeah, didn't it drop in like
And
November?
Monster was still winning awards this year. That's been 2 years.
Dog, I haven't heard Monster since like, oh my god, like I can't even remember the last
2013 when it was like, oh, it's still on the radio. I was like,
I couldn't believe
that was so weird to me. Like I literally did a double take. I was like, wait, what? How did that win?
Yeah,
and I was confused too, because, like with that, and because I was hearing that like Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's album I heard was nominated, and then it turns out it wasn't even in like the pool.
Yeah,
no, that was messed up, man.
And to
well,
me,
they didn't get enough votes initially, I think, to be in the pool, like you said.
Yeah,
it's a shame, man.
But I mean, as far as the nominees in hip hop albums, I would have given it to Schoolboy Q or Common. You know, both solid albums. I only bought Q's though.
True.
I think Q's is more solid than Common. A lot of people complained about Common's joint.
I liked Common's joint, but there was 2 or 3 songs that were just kind of like, you know, what was this doing on
skippable
here?
Yeah. I noticed the musical arrangement on Commons was a little bit weaker than what he had came with originally, like on B, and then some of his older stuff. Like I just felt like the music wasn't there. I love Common, yo. I rocks with Common hardcore.
Yeah, and there was a few real strong joints on it. Like the title track was one of the most like powerful of the year. Like,
and it was executive produced by No ID, or even a majority of the production was from No ID.
Even that intro was epic too. With Lil Herb in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That joint was hard.
I just wonder about Common if he's worried about trying to fit himself back into what's hot right now.
Exactly.
You know?
I don't know. At the same time, too, I think he's... I think he's even now, instead of trying to replicate a sound, he's trying to really now do songs with a lot of the younger generation rappers who are, you know, especially out of Chicago. I actually interviewed the Common album for Antenna Magazine over the summer. Nice. Shout out to Antenna. And I thought, you know, I gave it like a 8 out of 10 just because I feel like the message was so clear. Like normally you listen to an album, it takes you a couple times, especially if it's a good one, it takes you a couple times to really sit back, reflect on it, see what the messages were about. Word. I feel like Common put everything out on Front Street, like right after the first couple tracks. It left me almost. I mean, if you're a hip hop fan, you know that feeling where you listen to something, it's almost like you're gonna cry or you're breathless. Where you're like, whew.
Yeah. And that new Kendrick track. Oh my
god. Oh, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Remember, I was playing him the track the other night.
That was like a haymaker from like Butterbean. Like I was like, just took the wind out of you, yo.
I think he was sitting on that track to save it for 2015. But nonetheless, that's a hot track.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think with Boy Wonder on the beat.
But I know what you're saying about Common.
Yeah. So I think you know. Common's thing, especially with everything going on in the world today, like Ferguson and all the other events that have occurred recently. You know, I think that was just pretty much the soundtrack to a lot of people's lives, and unfortunately, the Grammys doesn't recognize stuff like that. But at the same time, I wouldn't expect them to.
Would they?
I wouldn't expect them because that's too deep for the Grammys.
Yeah, there's some red carpet bullshit for the Grammys. Who that?
I don't know. I can't tell who we got out. Might be Gringo. Nah.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah, the only time I remember back in the day, from what I remember, that the Grammys or Oscars got right with rap was 3 6 Mafia. When they gave him a soundtrack song of the year
for Hustle and Flow.
Yes, because that deserved it. That truly deserved it.
Stay Fly.
Yeah, I wish.
Stay Fly was dope.
Honestly, that was the song.
They probably should have won a Grammy for sipping on some scissor, but that's just me.
That too.
Yeah. Those songs, do you know the kids from today don't even know about?
No, it's sad.
It's sad, dude.
Emilio, you have sipping on some scissor on your
college
iPod,
kids
right?
of today don't even know about.
You better. Way to be, Emilio. Way to be.
I'm not being a good cousin.
He's
man.
a young shooter.
Yo, Common's going to get the Oscar, yo. Common and John Lennon, they'll get the Oscar. They're gonna give them the Oscar to make up for Selma not getting any nods.
Yeah, I think
they're gonna make up for that.
I was watching today. Common, he was on Angie Martinez, and they were saying too just how it's incredible how multi-talented he is. He's being nominated. It's almost like he's being favorited more for an Oscar these days than even a Grammy. But at the same time, just to get back to the topic, man, I think Common's album might have been a little too deep to be seen. But at the same time, I mean, and this is just a general question, I mean, the people who are part of the Grammys who are in the building to talk about what's like, able to be voted on, or like the separate the different categories. Do you think that there's no one in the room that represents the hip hop culture that has like a voice that says maybe this should be in there? Maybe it's a couple people who are just all about certain genres.
I think hip hop, not that they've done a disservice, but I think that throughout the years, hip hop has never defined their genre.
Yeah.
And I think that's the definition of hip hop, is an undefinable genre. So I think that, it's not like country music is country music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The top 5 country songs of the year just from country stations. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But like hip hop is just like, is it new wave? Is it new age? Is it underground? Is it top 40? Is it West Coast? Is it East Coast? Is it down south? So you have such an undefinable genre that for them to whittle that down just to top 5, whether it be single, whether it be album, whether it be live performance, stuff's gonna get left in the dust. And what do? They go with what's the popular choice? What's the money choice? I mean, obviously I'll bring up last year Macklemore.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of that was earned, but a lot of it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But the money was that's what the money was there.
Yeah.
So they can
did
make
his own
that
tours.
choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just wasn't a popular choice to choose Kendrick at that juncture. But now we see that maybe it all worked out for hip hop's sake, because now he's got a fire lit under him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, also on a separate note, I mean, do you feel as though maybe the hip hop genre is looked down because over the past couple years, within the last 20 years, hip hop sales dramatically sank. I mean, these days people are downloading stuff instead of buying it. You got J. Cole selling 300,000, and that's like out of this world.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, you got Taylor Swift selling 5 billion albums in the first week, and you got other
Shout out
genres.
to Taylor Swift.
Definitely.
Let's just take a pause real quick.
Shout out to Taylor Swift.
Shout out to Taylor Swift. I love Taylor
You
Swift.
heard her and Kanye are doing a song? Yeah.
And
makes
Kevin
sense.
Gates wants to do a song with Taylor Swift.
It makes sense.
He don't get tired.
I don't know, man. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the sales or the fact that I don't know how to describe it.
I feel like it is the popularity and where the money is, like Joey was saying. But I mean, even with like last year when Kendrick got snubbed, it was like that album was still so big, like, and so just well received, like you couldn't deny it. Even though it still had big hits that, it didn't cross over into straight pop like Macklemore did.
Good call.
But Swimming Pools was still a huge record. Like the song he had with Drake, pretty big song.
Who's their demographic? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
think about it like
exactly.
that. Is Kendrick's demographic watching the Grammys?
Not so much.
Biting their fingernails? You know what I'm
Some
saying?
of them.
Want him to kill it? I mean, some of them, maybe not more than 30%. And even that 30%, you could cut that in half. So really, like 15% of his fan base are the people reacting on Twitter.
Yeah.
Whereas, Taylor Swift's fans are tuning into the Grammys. Taylor Swift's fans' parents are tuning into the Grammys. Taylor Swift's fans' grandparents are watching the Grammys. You know what I mean? So that it just makes more sense. The same reason why, BET's not stressing, Kenny Chesney right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like his demographics they don't care if he wins a BET award.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, like Kendrick's album is gonna do numbers regardless of if he wins 1 Grammy or 7 more. Hey,
100%.
The cosign of the Grammys is great, and I mean, like, Beck is gonna sell. Beck might double his sales because there were people out there who didn't even know Beck dropped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There were dudes out there who didn't even know Beck dropped an album. You know what I mean? Sam Smith, who did great numbers, his sales are going to probably increase by 66%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Grammys cosign definitely helps, but it's not needed for the hip-hop demographic.
Absolutely.
No.
Like you said, we were talking off air, like, Biggie is still considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest rapper alive. He doesn't have a Grammy.
No.
Nas doesn't have a Grammy. Snoop doesn't have a Grammy. So it's not. It doesn't make or break cats in the hip hop world. But in the pop world, in the country world, it may make or break you. You know what I mean? Like Adele isn't a household name if she doesn't pull in those 3 or 4 Grammys when she dropped that album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's make or break, but that's because those big companies are putting money into those acts. No one's putting money into Kendrick like that. He's, like you said, he hustling.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, the dude. I mean, it's funny. I mean, like, just to take it back to the Macklemore and Kendrick thing. It's crazy because I'm actually one of the people that I don't necessarily believe Macklemore should have won it. But I don't think people can count him out. That album, from an independent standpoint,
retarded.
It
was amazing. Yeah.
If that's not big enough to even be considered for a Grammy, then that's foolery.
Yeah.
A little bit. I feel like his album should have been mentioned. You break it down. I mean, you got Kendrick Lamar, who's just telling the real Compton story, the street story that any traditional hip-hop fan would want. You got Macklemore, he's touching on songs about gay rights and...
The crossover aspect wasn't there.
Yeah.
So when you look at the voters in the Grammys, Kendrick, it just doesn't cross over. I mean, like, right. yo, real talk, like as an East Coast cat, some East Coast cats don't even mess with Kendrick for that specific reason alone, is that he's so Compton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if hip-hop doesn't cross over within hip-hop, how do you expect hip-hop to cross over within pop, within rock, within the common voters, modus operandi? It's just not going to be there. It doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
I think it's just about opening your mind without the use of drugs, of course. But if you want it, it's all good.
But that's the thing about Macklemore, is that it does lay over into multiple genres, which makes it more accessible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%, man. So I think that's it's unfortunate Kendrick didn't win, but I think the heist really it was the right thing being mentioned and up there with some of those albums. I mean, I don't know, just to fast forward a year, I mean, it's 2000, it's going to be 2016, or, what do you think is going to be nominated for the rap album within a year?
I hope J. Cole.
I think J. Cole's going to be on there.
J. Cole will be up there.
If Eminem got it this
Prime,
year, they got to give it.
It'd be dope to see Prime up there.
I can't see it on the Grammy.
Nah,
I just can't. I would love that.
It depends this year if they really worked like the album.
Yeah,
I
they're
going. They are going on the tour. So,
and I guess he doesn't really have a hit single yet.
Yeah.
Like if the tour pushes it out there more, then I could see it maybe getting the nomination. I mean,
isn't it one of those cats on Odd Future who's gonna drop toward the end of this year?
Earl Sweatshirt.
The other one.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator? I'm not sure.
No. The other dude who just did
Donald Jenner.
Frank Ocean.
Vince Staples.
Vince Staples.
Vince Staples is supposed to drop in the summer, and he might be the new thing. He's getting a lot of recognition.
He is. He's on all the big sites. I mean, he's
the Odd Future cat, right?
No, he's not.
No? He did stuff with him, I think.
Oh, he's done a couple things.
Oh, but he's not.
I don't think he's in it, but he's another LA cat.
Yeah.
And he's young too. He's like 20, 21.
Yeah,
but and he's only been rhyming for like 2 years.
I didn't know that.
But sometimes I think rappers just say that too in interviews, but you never know. Because he's nasty. Like it's like, because I look at myself and I rhymed for 2 years and I get chills. But
I just started rapping last week.
Yeah.
Bars.
But I think if Vince Staples, if that debut album does well, I can see him being up there with the J. Coles. I think if Kendrick drops something this year, which I think he will, maybe that'll be mentioned again.
I think he would have to. I can't imagine, Black of the Berry just being a standalone, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Joey Badass get a nom at least.
That'd be nice.
Because his album was real dope. I'm still knocking that. And he just dropped a new video today, too.
Oh, I love that song, Like Me.
Maybe even that song might get, like, some kind of nod. Who knows?
It's just tough, man, when you drop so early in the year.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just tough. It's just one of those things that, like, usually in the Grammys, you see those CDs, those albums, those singles that played all summer.
Yeah.
When everybody's listening to the radio, when everyone's going to the beach or going on a road trip.
Just hop on the radio.
Exactly, and those are the songs. So I'm sure someone will step up and drop a summer anthem that'll probably infiltrate the Grammys, and it could be any of the usual suspects, or someone new. You never know.
I just think. I guess just to wrap it up, I would say too that I think one of the main things we just said too in this short period of time talking is that the hip hop doesn't need Grammys as much as people think. People still get recognition, and let's face it, if the music's hot, it's gonna sell records, people are gonna talk about it, and that's the main thing.
What's the name of the show, Johnny?
Streets Never Sleep
Yo, they
Radio.
never do, and it doesn't need a Grammy, yo. If the streets think it's hot, they're banging it. You may not get the money from the iTunes sales, and the Pandora sales. But the bottom line is, man, if you're hot, they're gonna find you, bro. They're gonna play your stuff.
Sometimes the barbershop talk is just as big as the Grammys, man.
Like Bobby Shmurda, he's not gonna get a Grammy, but like who wasn't rocking that track? When it came out?
Yeah, that would have had to at least get a nom for like best performance.
Yeah,
the Shmoney Dance.
You know
what
I'm saying?
Was bigger than that?
What was? You got news anchors doing it.
Every time I went into Van Dome, it was obviously lit, but when Hot came on, and like that part of the song was you saw people like gearing up for that one part.
That was
it.
Doc, man, I'd see you. I'd pay.
I
to
did
see
it
you
once
do that move.
when I was.
Yeah.
Can you take me to?
I don't want to influence the listeners. I was wavy in the club, and I did it once. I don't think I did it very good, but I did it.
I'll go on record saying I've done that dance like 500 times, man. I'm all about it, man.
Only 500, Joey. Come on.
I'm all about. I'll do it right now.
Oh man,
I have to play it.
Hilarious, man. I think it was great.
Yeah.
I think it was great.
He would have had to get rap performance though for that one.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Like that's our culture, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing, You have to go back way longer to see, the culture of rock, the culture of metal, the culture of punk. But everyone knows where hip hop started. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows what it needs, and that's why it's so difficult to put you in a category, because at the bottom, at the end of the line, like, you really can't compare. Even you can't compare Nas to Snoop. It's just hard to do. You can't compare cats from the same borough. You can't compare, Nas to Onyx. You can't compare Mobb Deep to Wu-Tang. And these cats, they're 30 miles apart. So to get all the people around the country that are rapping, that are spitting bars, that are hip hopping on different kind of beats, the Texas cats, the down south, the ATL cats, the West Side cats, the Chicago cats, the Detroit cats, and the New York cats. It's just tough to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just tough.
And nowadays, a hot record from any city, it speaks bigger volumes than any time of hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
man, it's true.
You don't even have to have a mixtape out, at least. Not even an album. As long as you got a hot song, man, you're in the conversation, man.
Drake put Toronto on. Who was thinking about Toronto before Drake? You know what I'm saying?
But Drake is also the dude where he drops freestyles and they get nominated for Grammys, like 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Drake, they drop loose tracks and it gets like nominated.
Johnny got so much hate in his voice.
No.
Johnny got so much hate.
It's all for me.
I do have to say, no. I do have to say, from interning at XXL, they made me appreciate Drake for what the music is.
Drake is an interesting artist. I
appreciate his stuff
what
now.
do you think about Drake, Shane?
He literally is just a cash cow artist for Young Money.
Yeah.
The thing is too, like they were
accessible.
saying,
He's just accessible.
He is good. There's no question.
He can rap. He can even Ghostface Killah said that. Why hate Drake? Like, the dude can out rap many of the people that are hating him. Yeah,
not bad, but he's an interesting.
He started the new subgenre of the singing rapper.
Yeah.
Where now every rapper thinks they can sing. Let me they're just like, let me sing the hook. They're not gonna go out and like get Doc to sing the hook, who has the voice of an angel.
There's no Nate Dogs.
No more.
Oh man, rest in peace, yo. Rest in peace.
He'd still be winning Grammys, man.
Right?
No
man,
that was a tough one.
I would even take Little John and a T-Pain hook over some of the stuff.
Yeah.
No, hey, that's
what's
real.
Akon doing? Is he out?
He retired.
He
retired off Lady Gaga.
Oh man, he made.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga and Gwen Stefani made him a lot of money.
They did.
They really made him a lot of money. He's cooling right now. He's cooling.
Oh, he's good.
Akon was dope. I always liked Akon.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever won any Grammys.
Nah, definitely.
Definitely nominated at least.
Yeah, at least a part of songs that have been nominated.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Hip hop's a funny thing.
Nate Dogg and Akon, Hook Kings.
Yeah, man.